Hello and welcome. Welcome to this video about the effect that you can have on the world around you, but also remembering that strength within you and in remembering the strength of your soul. And when you look at it in these times, and we're all been going through difficult times, we've all been going through these times of wondering how things are going to turn out. We could consider that giving these times being in times of trouble, and it can have an effect on your inner being or your inner resonance of who you are. So the reason I'm making this video is because I wanted to really share the inspiration that's been coming through at the moment. So when we have these feelings of times of trouble, things outside of us being bigger than what we can than ourselves, or going through these problems, it's like a united thing that's happening in the world today. So what I wanted to do was just to share this inspiration to remind you of your own power, your own strength, and your soul's possibilities, you see. So when we look at it, when we are putting our attention and energy in the outside world, and when we are really pushing ourselves out there into the world, then we're really losing energy or giving energy to something that's not positive. Now, if we were to really harness the energy of ourselves and move more inwards into the beingness of who we are, then we would certainly make a big shift in our energy right now. I mean, if you were all to just like move out of problems and then just move back into that beingness of who you are, then you would shift into a more powerful, soul-centered part of yourself. Now, this is fantastic because we do it in mediumship. This is also fantastic when we do it in trance meditation as well, because that is something that happens. But really what it is in life, sometimes we get caught up in doingness. And when I mean doingness, it's like we're trying to really do everything, change everything, hold on to everything, create security, all these things. So we're stuck in doingness instead of shifting into that belief of beingness, which does not mean you're not doing. It means that when you're in your being, in the center of who you are, you're more in the essence of who you are. And shifting into that essence is when you shift into that soul contact with yourself and you discover the strength within. Now, there was a lovely song that represents this. We can remember the song Something Inside So Strong. Fantastic song that represented problems outside in the world and yet reminding of that something inside so strong that is within you. But that something is the infinite soul purpose of who you are. It's that part of you that will never die. It's that part of you that's indestructible. It's also that part of you that is the power and emanation of who you are. And to shift into that infinite part of you, you'll shift into the part of you that has infinite possibilities. Now, the only thing that holds us back from feeling those infinite possibilities or feeling those that the essence of who you are and believing in it is the mind that has been brought into this world, brought up in this world with, yeah, but this is going on, yeah, but that's going on, and life, and I can't change that. But when we move into, welcome everybody, it's nice to see you, and thank you for your message. But you see, when you move into yourself, into that part of you that is infinite, that soul part of you, then you're moving into possibilities. And you don't need to go far because it's right within you. And as mediums, we connect to that part of empowerment. When we sit in the power, we're empowering ourselves. There are meditations you can do, transcendental meditation. They're also empowering. Trance meditation is also empowering. They're all methods to really learn and harness the soul potential. Now, as mediums, and I believe everyone has the ability to develop mediumship, we harness that power and energy, and it unfolds in gifts. And that gifts might be sensitivity, those gifts might be something like inspired speaking, those gifts might be something that you haven't discovered yet that needs to come to the surface. Now, discovering that's the journey of life, because when we are caught up in distractions like the troubles of this time I was speaking of, we're not aware of the abilities and the gifts that are within. So there was a study done in 1960s, and it's the Maharishis effect. That this study, my pronunciation will probably be, but you'll find it in the description. I'll write it in there. But in the 1960s, there was a study done with meditative monks and yogis, and they were sitting in that power of meditation. And what they found is they reduced the crime rate in the area by 16%. Since then, there's been more of these groups of people sitting in meditation and reducing crime rates in different places. And so when you look at this, what did they do? They moved within. They were not without themselves. They were within themselves. And yet it had an effect on the world around them. I will certainly put the link in the description here so you can click on it afterwards. But it really is a fascinating thing. And if we discovered that in the 1960s, and we're now in 2020s, then we've come a long way, but yet we still need to remember the power and the essence and the possibilities of what our soul can do. Now, we can get bill after bill, we can turn our heating down, or things can be going on, or there can be all these disasters going on in the world. But when our energy shifts towards it and gives it energy, losing energy ourselves, feeling depleted, maybe even feeling at sometimes feeling like incomplete or not strong enough, or being too small to create change. But when we believe and shift into the soul essence of who we are and shift into that strength of who we are, we change even when we're not in meditation. For when we shift from doingness into beingness, then it does not mean we're being lazy. It does not mean that we don't care. It means we're shifting our energy to having an effect. And in that way, like those monks back in the 1960s, we create change in the place around us. So if we were now just to center ourselves and to breathe into that power of who we are, and just to center ourselves in this moment and to feel the strength within, that something inside so strong. And if you were just to remember that on this day and to bring that into your day, you will notice that will have a fantastic change. For even shifting your awareness from your mind and shifting your awareness into your feelings, that soul essence of who you are, is going to make a difference today, not only in your life, not only in your family's life, but the people around you. For as we know, everything is energy. So if you wanted to change things within your direct environment, the greatest change that you can make is within inside of yourself. If you wanted to make a change within your life, the greatest change you can do is to shift into that beingness of who you are. And I've noticed this because whenever you get distracted, whenever I've been distracted, I've suddenly been either depleted, out of alignment, or feeling that things are not in flow. The moment you come back to beingness, the moment that you come back to that soul's potential, is the moment that you feel, okay, I'm seeing the bigger picture, I'm feeling the bigger picture, I'm feeling more in flow. And positivity tends to emanate when you're in connection with that soul. So it means that even if you pass to the spirit world, that soul within you is so infinite, it will never die. So if you have a soul that is so infinite, will never die, an indestructible self, then there's no need to feel small within this world at the moment. The shift now, what is being called for is meditating, sitting in trance, sitting in the power, but believing in you and the power and essence of you are, for that empowerment that can take place within your life, and believing in it and bringing it into your environment, just like the monks did in the 1960s. But you could do it consciously by just being in your beingness of who you are and bringing that into the world. That will create change. Now, a lot of you may have heard of The Secret, which the secret was, if you could think it, you could believe it, you could make it happen. If you think it, you believe it, you can make it happen. Some people say fake it till you make it. I believe in something else. I believe in the frequency of being. And so if you shift your frequency of being, not only do you shift your emotions, not only do you change the way your body works, not only do you change your environment that you live in, but you're changing your frequency around you and in the environment you are. So in that way, you move into a flow state, and that flow state is what brings you into momentum of things happening. And so it's not, I think it's, I will make it happen. It's more in shifting into the beingness of feeling of, I know and I trust that the divine essence above us has really got this. So when you shift into your beingness and you're feeling that soul eminence and you're just being in that perfect, imperfect human being that you are, you may have your days of being more perfect than other days, but when you can just accept yourself as being on a journey within this lifetime, that journey to discover this essence of who you are and to bring this essence into the world, and to believe that in the connection to all things, because everything is energy, even the divine nature, that universal light that connects all things, that when you are in your essence, you're connected to that as well. And when you are, then you are at the frequency of allowing, and then you are at the frequency of being, and then you are at the frequency of flow. And in doing that, you'll not only be doing your family a great help, but you'll be doing your environment, the place where you live. And because of the studies of this effect of the shift of energy that were done in the 1960s, you'll know that this will have an effect on the world around you. So when there is chaos outside, become the calm within. And when there is discomfort outside of yourself, become the calm within and be the beingness. And in the beingness, you can do your work. And in the beingness, you can become. And in the beingness, you can be sensitive and yet strong. Remember, something inside is so strong. That is the infinite you. Thank you. So it's good to be here, good to be with you again, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.